So, John, what's the longest you've gone without sleep?
Well, if you know anything about me, Harry, you should probably know that I love sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I love a nap. I love to sleep.
So like 5 minutes then?
Yeah, I think probably I can't really think of a long period of time. Maybe in Amsterdam when we got really high and then got freaked out, and then you made us watch Black Mirror, and that was definitely at least a 48-hour period of no sleep.
Some films are fine just the way they are. Other films sometimes take it way too far. But really, how bad could it get? Let's go beyond the box set.
Welcome everybody to Beyond the Box Set, the podcast where today we are pitching prequels, sequels and spin-offs to Insomnia, one of the Christopher Nolan films.
Forgotten Christopher Nolan film.
Everything's a bit thematic right now.
Yeah.
We'll also be pitching some drinking games and hearing from our listeners with the submissions they've posted on our Facebook and Twitter pages. But first we're going to talk about some of our favourite moments and give a bit of a plot summary. I am Harry, the host with the most alertness.
Questionable.
Yeah. I'm joined today by Ross, the guest with the best sleeping bag.
That's true. I slept in a double sleeping bag
Yes.
last night. It was great.
Yes.
We've just been camping. There's a reason we have sleeping bags.
Yeah, out of context, that's a bit weird, isn't it? Just having a double
Ross
sleeping
is homeless.
And joining me as always, the hangover from a night out in Amsterdam that just won't leave. It's John Lucas.
Oh, that's the nicest thing you've ever said about me.
What, you won't leave? So Insomnia then.
Yeah.
You chose this one, John, didn't you?
I did, yeah. As I said before, I feel like this is the forgotten Christopher Nolan movie. It's I just didn't pick it for any particular reason other than Tenet is out.
Yeah.
And so people are talking Christopher Nolan, and we've done most of the other ones. So I thought we'd have a look at this one, which I actually hadn't seen before.
I'd like to just jump in and say this is not a forgotten Christopher Nolan film for me. This is one I had literally never heard of before.
Well, there you go.
So,
Yeah.
not forgotten, just
Just
never known.
obscure, yeah. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, because he did this one straight after Memento, and then he went on to like The Dark Knight and then all the big films that he's famous
Yeah, I
for.
think this one came out 2 years after Memento and 2 years before Batman Begins.
Yes, yeah. It
Um,
was his first big studio film, because Memento was kind of an independent film that did very well, obviously.
what's the other one? Is it The Following? That is first
Yeah,
one.
that's The Following is like his first like real first film, but that's like a very low budget, no stars kind of. Then Memento was his breakthrough thing.
Yeah.
But then this was after that the first big film he got a budget for, and he got some big names for, and
Now, I think that before recording you told me that he didn't write this.
Yes, that was the other thing I was going to say. This is the only Christopher Nolan film he's ever directed that he did not write, and also his brother did not write.
Yeah.
So
You can tell.
yeah, it's definitely a little different.
Because this film is plain.
I wouldn't say plain, but
Well-
it's definitely not Nolan-y enough for me.
Yeah, I think it's just by comparison. And you go in expecting a Christopher Nolan film, when you're fresh out the cinema after watching Tenet, and this doesn't have a thing.
Yeah.
I think it's got
His-
elements.
Barely.
Why hasn't time gone backwards at any point? Why hasn't the storyline leapt forward and backwards in time by multiple years? And why isn't the city folding in on itself?
Yeah.
This is barely a Christopher Nolan film. This
Yeah.
is barely a film.
all that
Come
sort
on.
of stuff? And I was primed for a twist at the end,
Yeah.
and there is no twist at the end.
I thought
Like,
there was a twist like half an hour in, and then the rest of the film was all about the fact that was the
I mean,
twist.
the twist being that Robin Williams is in this movie.
No, that was a fun twist. No, I was thinking of the fact that this isn't just a cop chasing a murderer, which is what all other films about this are.
Yeah.
This is a cop chasing a murderer while a murderer is chasing a cop for murdering.
Yes. See, there you go. That's pretty Nolan-y. That's convoluted.
pretty Nolan-ish.
Yes, but it wasn't convoluted enough, though.
Yeah, I know.
They could have done more with that, or like I was wondering, like, oh, is Robin Williams secretly Al Pacino, and this is all like a hallucination
Because he's so
Fight Club.
tired.
Yeah.
Fight Club style.
Oh, that's so good.
I was
Well,
I was
mean,
really expecting like he's gonna have hallucinated like a whole thing, a whole
why would you hallucinate
storyline.
Robin Williams?
I mean, I don't know, but like because there's one point where they're doing a search in the forest, and he sees his partner,
Yes.
who he recently shot, and like clearly that's a hallucination, like his partner wasn't there.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so this film's like teasing us with a little hallucination now because he's been awake for so long.
Yeah.
That makes sense. okay, what else is going to be hallucinated?
Mm-hmm.
I was really thinking like Robin Williams doesn't exist.
Yeah, he
And
hallucinates
that's
his
the whole
partner
thing.
again a bit later, and then it's just dropped. Like he hallucinates him
Yeah.
twice, and then that's it.
Yeah, because if it had that kind of a twist, that would be a Nolan-y film.
That'd
be prime Nolan. Like, oh, hallucinations. What is real?
I mean, that's also very Fight Club, though.
Yeah, it's.
Which I appreciate. That Fight Club had well been done by this point.
Oh yeah, this
Yeah.
came out in
Yeah.
2002. Fight
Yeah,
Club's
yeah.
like 1997. So
Yeah, but Fight Club had more going for it than just.
Just that twist.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Whereas this didn't really have much going for it.
I enjoyed it,
yeah.
but I do think that if it had turned out that other person was just the first person all along, people would have gone, oh, it's fucking Fight Club, innit?
Yeah.
You know, it was too soon after Fight Club to try that.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah. I mean, I like this. I like a good, like, noirish detective, thing. Like, it's very moody. It's got, like, a moody, feel to it. And it's actually an adaptation or a remake of a Norwegian film. And you can really tell it's got that Scandi crime vibe, like all
Yeah.
those TV shows that were really big a few years ago. Like,
And it helps that it's just set like quite north in the world and everything just looks
Yeah.
cold and like
Yeah.
everybody's struggling to get along.
yeah, they've clearly been like, okay, what's the closest we can get to Norway in America? Oh, Alaska. Let's put it in Alaska here. So.
Yeah. And I feel like they really lent into it.
Yes, absolutely.
And visually, this film looked fantastic.
It looked great, yeah. So it's got the Nolan flair.
Yeah.
So it does have its Nolan-y elements. It looks good. It begins with the letters I-N. It's part of the first part of the In trilogy.
Yeah.
Wait, hang on, am I missing one?
Insomnia,
Inception.
Interstellar.
Interstellar, that's the one I was
Yeah.
missing. Is there a way of linking all three?
I don't think so because this one's so plain.
Oh my
That's
god.
true.
Okay, so I'm guessing that you didn't enjoy this film, Harry.
It was just because I was expecting more.
Okay.
It was fine.
High expectations.
But also, this film could have been shorter.
it is 2 hours, but I mean, these kind of films do take their time.
Yeah, noir always takes its
Yeah.
time.
That's
Because
kind
you've
of
got to have shots from where you walk from a place to another place, because the only two people on the street are at opposite ends of the street, so you have to walk between them and you have to show all of it.
Yeah.
I mean, Robin Williams doesn't turn up for an hour. So
No,
it really
it's-
does take its time, which I appreciate. I like that
Yeah.
sometimes. Yeah.
I liked how they kind of teased him just by having him do lots of phone calls.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
that was good.
fluttering around the edges, but you didn't really get a scene with him until a good hour in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dormer here. So, why don't you tell me who I'm talking to and we can chat a while?
I can't do that.
Why not?
Not till you understand a couple of things.
Like what?
I saw
What?
you shoot your partner.
Right, do you want to do a plot summary then?
Sure, yeah. So this film, Insomnia, came out 2002, stars Al Pacino as a detective whose name I've not written down, but it is immaterial.
We shall refer to him as Al Pacino.
He is the
this entire
protagonist.
time.
He's
Yeah.
protagonist. Yeah.
Yes, he is.
In Nolan style, he's protagonist.
I wish that like all the Nolan protagonists were just called the protagonist. By the way, if you don't get it, in Tenet, the protagonist is literally called the protagonist. He says it aloud at one point. He says, "So I'm just the protagonist then," and then in the credits, that's his name.
He has no
That's-
name. He's just
That's
protagonist.
kind of cool. I like
Yeah.
that. Well, I mean,
It's
Clint
kinda-
Eastwood made a career out of being the man with no name, so you
Yeah.
might as well just cut out the middleman and just the protagonist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Al Pacino, he is a detective. He arrives in this town, a very famous detective, it seems. Because, Hilary Swank seems to really fangirl over him.
Yeah.
But here,
he's a classic Sherlock Holmes.
very much so, yeah.
Hercule
Although sadly
Poirot.
not as camp, yeah.
Yeah.
Although it is Al Pacino, so he has his campy moments, but on the whole.
It's a very Al Pacino role.
It is, yes, but I think he's a lot more restrained than he usually is. He has his moments, certainly. Because Al Pacino is famously a big old ham.
Yeah.
That's what he is. Great actor, huge ham. Chews the scenery
God,
up and
yeah.
spits it out. So, yeah. But in this one, not so much. But yes, so he's this well-known detective who flies in from New York, maybe?
LA.
LA.
I think.
Sure.
LA,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Flies in from LA with his partner, played by Martin Donovan, whose name I've also not written down. So everyone's going to be actors for this summary. And they've flown in to help assist with a murder investigation involving a high school girl named Kay, who has been brutally beaten to death. And they're trying to find out who killed her.
Yeah.
So they've been flown in. The local cop, Hilary Swank, greets them at the airport, and she is the hugest fan of Al Pacino. She admires all of his work, and she's this scrappy, can-do, good, positive attitude new detective, wants to do all the detectiving. She was very scrappy doing this to me. Yes, so they assist with the investigation. Well, they start the investigation, it seems. It doesn't seem that they've made much headway. And the prime suspect initially is Kay's boyfriend, who is just a comedic dick.
Oh God, yeah.
Just the most obnoxious teenage boy with his floppy 2000s hair and his "what do you mean, man?"
Yeah.
You ain't got nothing on me, copper.
Yeah, why have you got such a bad attitude then?
Yeah, I wanted them to just arrest him and
just
then
for being annoying.
Yeah, and the movie's only 24 minutes long at that point.
Yeah.
It's we'll just put the credits up. Possession of offensive haircut probably killed her. Put her in prison. Sorted.
Yes. Anyway, they follow a few leads, and one of the leads leads to a house. Oh, I forgot to mention, kind of important, this town in northernmost Alaska that this film is set in several months of the summer or several weeks of the summer, they get no sunset. It's daylight all the time. It's like midsummer. It's daylight all the time. So that's kind of important to the plot. So they follow a few leads, and one of the leads takes them to a house in a lake house on a very foggy day, and it's very atmospheric. The fog is, very foggy, very thick. The fog is very foggy. I can't speak. I'm very tired, actually. I've been camping. I've not slept very much. This is a method podcast. Yes, they go to this lake house to chase down a lead. It's very foggy, and they know that the potential killer is in this house, but they don't know who it is. And I can't remember why, to be honest. But anyway, one thing leads to another, and the killer is alerted and does a runner, shoots one of the other cops in the leg, I think. And then Al Pacino chases him, still can't see him because it's really foggy, loses him temporarily, and then another shadowy figure comes out with a gun. He shoots him instinctively, shoots him dead. Turns out he's not shot the killer, he's actually shot his partner by accident, Martin Donovan. Now, but this is complicated by the fact that before he shot Martin Donovan had admitted that he was going to testify in a investigation against Al Pacino for some kind of misdemeanors back in LA. I don't think it ever really specified. I think he's supposed to have done some things.
No, I think it did at the very end.
It's specified much nearer the end, it was...
He planted evidence on someone he knew was guilty.
That was it.
He used his cop magic sense to tell someone was guilty, but he thought the evidence wouldn't do well enough. So he planted more evidence to get the conviction.
That's it, yes. So he'd abused his power, and he'd obviously been caught out in some regard and was being investigated, and Martin Donovan had taken a plea deal to save his own neck, and he was going to testify against him. And he told Al Pacino he was going to do that. Al Pacino was very mad. It could obviously ruin his career, and it could also mean a lot of the trials that he'd been pushed forward could be, the criminals could now get off. So
because his credibility would then be gone. So anyone he ever put away would be potentially let out.
Yes. So basically, he has huge motivation for killing Martin Donovan, but it is an accident as far as we can tell. But he realizes that that's not going to look good, so he fudges it. He hides the bullet. There's some stuff with he replaces the bullet. He shoots a dog and then takes the bullet out of the dog. And
he shoots a dead dog.
He shoots a dead dog. Yeah, he's not that bad.
Yeah.
But he does a lot of evidence tampering.
Yes, basically to hide the fact that to make it look like the killer shot Martin Donovan rather than that he did. So he's got this lie hanging over him.
Yeah.
And the only person who knows that he is lying is the killer.
Yeah.
Obviously, the killer knows that he didn't shoot that guy.
Yes.
Yes, and then he stays in the town for a few more days. He's obviously ridden with guilt, and he can't sleep because of the lack of sunset, the lack of darkness he is having, and the anxiety of having shot his partner. He can't get any sleep whatsoever.
Yeah.
And he starts getting these mysterious phone calls from a person who claims to be the killer, and who is the killer.
Yeah.
Who is kind of taunting him, but also telling him that there's more to this story than meets the eye. And so it turns out that killer is Robin Williams in a rare villainous role.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I enjoyed. What did you think of Robin Williams' villain?
I thought he was fantastic.
Yeah, really good performance.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I also quite like that we find a bit later on he was the villain, but he wasn't actually that terrible a person.
He did beat a teenage girl to death for us.
Yeah, but not like it wasn't it seemingly wasn't a premeditated murder.
No, it was an
Like
accident.
it was.
Passion.
He's like Al Pacino says it. How was it an accident if it took you 10 minutes to beat someone to death? Like I don't condone his behavior, fucking obviously, but it was like a crime of passion. It was something he didn't mean to do. It wasn't a plan. He didn't want her dead. He just acted out of some kind of
But the way that he was
grotesque
explaining,
instinct.
the way that he was explaining it, kind of made him like the victim. Cause
Yeah. I don't buy into that. Like,
there was a point where he was saying like, I was more scared than she was.
yeah,
like really?
Oh yeah,
She
she
thought he was
laughed at
dead,
me.
yeah.
Yeah, he does try and justify it in ways that are obviously gross.
Yeah.
But he's not. I mean, also he later tries to kill a cop to cover it up. But it feels like he's someone who did something wrong and it sort of spirals and gets worse, not because he's an evil person, but because he's just a shit person.
He's trying to get out of the situation. Yes.
Yeah, he's a shit person rather than an evil one.
And I didn't fully understand why he didn't hand himself in.
Because he didn't want to. He didn't want to get caught.
Because he likes his
jail.
life. You know, he doesn't want to go to jail.
He didn't feel like somebody who was irresponsible enough to be like, oh well, I know that I can just randomly murder somebody by accident, but you know, I'm just going to carry. I'm just not going to do that again. I'm just gonna.
I mean,
carry
he's
on.
obviously a sociopath to a certain extent, and also being a crime novelist, he knows, and he demonstrates this a lot in the rest of the movie. I think, doesn't he? He knows a lot of ways of getting away with it, so he kind of figures that he can.
Yeah.
And in a way, for a while, does.
Yeah.
I would have liked it, although it would have made the film quite silly, if it turns out that all Robin Williams' knowledge on crime was all just complete crap, because he's a novelist, he's not an actual detective. And, you know, then Al Pacino could just be like, well, that's not how we do things, that's not how we do things, that's not how we do things, and that's how we caught you and got all this evidence.
It would be a short film, Harry.
Yeah.
But I think, Matt, for me, my favourite part of this film was like the cat and mouse game between Al Pacino and Robin Williams. The way they keep outmanoeuvring each other. And
And I like the twist because it wasn't a cop chasing a murderer. It was a cop chasing a murderer while the murderer manipulates the cop who also did a murder.
Yes, exactly.
And
They're
both of them consider their killings accidental.
Yes, exactly. They're both compromised, and so maybe they are like the same person.
Well,
Twist.
Yeah, exactly. That's the sort of thing I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I think it's really interesting that Christopher Nolan cast two infamous like hammy actors who normally just are always at 11 and makes them both pretty subtle.
Yeah.
Like it's Robin Williams as well. It's a lot more subtle than, you know, he's not doing any silly voices. He's not doing. There's no comedy to his performance. It's all very controlled and measured. So
Yeah.
Does anybody else actually talk to Robin Williams?
Yes, because he comes in to
he has
be,
that interview.
Interviewed. Remember?
Yeah.
One of the best scenes when he twists it around and makes it look like the teenage boy had done it.
Could it be that the Robin Williams that came into the interview was the only real Robin Williams and all the rest?
Okay, you're really
were
you're
hallucinations?
stretching this,
No,
Harry. It's not going to
mean,
happen.
That one might have been the actual author.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas the other person was someone Al Pacino had just imagined the entire time.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he also tries to kill Hilary Swank
Yes, he does. Yes.
in the final scenes.
Ah,
So he can't be an imaginary thing.
Yeah, you're gonna have to let this one go, guys.
Yeah.
It's just not the movie you wanted it to be. I'm sorry. But
God damn it.
yeah, the majority of the movie after this point is just them playing kind of cat and mouse with each other. They have a meeting. Well, they have a brilliant chase on some logs, which I loved.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Brilliantly scary.
Yeah. So it's like it's one of those rivers where they float timber down it, and all the wood's strapped together. I don't know what you call that, but yeah, I loved it for the spectacle of two men, both I think at this point in their late 50s,
Yeah.
like, running for a very long time,
Doing a parkour chase scene.
yeah. I was like, you guys must be exhausted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Robin Williams one must have been like a stunt double who was like 30.
Yeah.
I don't think Robin Williams was ever that athletic. So he really like bombs it in this film. But yeah, I did love, like, he's like, obviously he just leaps and bounds like a gazelle over all these like logs, and then Al Pacino's just like sliding all over the place. It was quite funny.
Yeah.
But then Al Pacino falls under, and I've actually done this, and it made me really scared because I didn't realise that that could have been a lot worse. Because I was in Norway actually one time, and I was walking on those, and I fell into the lake. But it was fine. I just jumped straight back up. Well, I didn't jump straight. I got straight back out again. You know, I didn't have a near-death experience with it. I just kind of was dunked and then was back in, and I was like, oh, I'm wet.
Yeah.
But yeah, in this one, when he falls in, because the timber's actively floating,
Yeah.
his way back up is blocked because suddenly the logs, which are very big and heavy, are over his head, and it takes him ages to find another way out again, which is was really
And they're
scary.
all, and they're all like banging together and stuff. So
yeah.
if he tries to get through any gap, he might just get crushed.
Yeah.
It was good. Like, that's one thing. Another thing Christopher Nolan, I think, does really well is find visual action sequences that you haven't seen before. Like in Tenet, the backwards fighting and the backwards explosions.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's other examples of it in his other films. But in this one, I thought that having a fairly standard chase scene, but over some floating logs in a Alaskan winter town, I thought that was really interesting. That's something you just never see. So good chase scene. But anyway, Robin Williams gets away, but they end up meeting on a boat, and Robin Williams reveals that he knows a lot about Al Pacino's background. He's obviously done his research. He knows that there's definite just cause why Al Pacino might have shot his partner on purpose, and then he basically he's to get out of his own, to save his own neck, he attempts to blackmail Al Pacino. He's like, just let this go away. Let's pin it on the teenage boy, and I won't say a thing about you, and we can both just get off scot-free. And Al Pacino tries to trick him. He tries to trick him into pretending that he's on board with this plan. So he says, okay, great, but you do need to go and give evidence, because what also it transpires is that the teenage girl who's been murdered was in a relationship, sort of, with Robin Williams. They were seeing each other. He was buying her lots of expensive things. They had an inappropriate relationship. So Al Pacino's like, well, that's going to come out. So there's no way you can not have that come out. So go and tell them that. But then he made it seem like he was going to help him to, pin it on the boy. But what he actually did was he planted the gun that was the murder weapon in Robin Williams' apartment with the intention that it would be found by the police, and then he would actually get caught.
Yeah.
But then we get...
But surely then Robin Williams would still just be able to say, I saw him shoot the guy. Find the bullet.
I'm not...
But he's switched the bullets by this point.
Yeah.
If you can get that bit of evidence, then anything Robin Williams says about, that guy did it, or anything like that, would be insubstantial and would just look like him lying.
Yeah. Just the ravings.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah. I wasn't entirely certain on how this worked, though, but ultimately he's trying to pin it on him. Well, he's trying to trick Robin Williams through this. But in the interview sequence, which I think is one of the best of the film, Robin Williams comes in and he does what he's agreed to do, and he's given his evidence, but then in the process he makes it very clear that he's actually found the gun, and he's then moved it again and put it in the teenage boy, the ex-boy, the dead girl's boyfriend. This is very convoluted to explain on a podcast. See, it's very Nolan-y.
It's not convoluted to watch, though.
No, it's very easy to follow, but it's hard to explain. But basically they pin it, Robin Williams manages to pin it on the boyfriend. Yeah. And Al Pacino's furious, but he can't explain why he's furious, obviously. Yeah, so the teenage boy gets arrested, doesn't he, initially? Yeah. And then... what happened after that?
I don't know.
I remember that, and then I remember I remember the end, but
I feel like I've got a blank spot.
Is this when they...
This is clearly the strongest part of the movie.
Is this where they drive out to the middle of nowhere and just kind of threaten each other?
Oh, that's right. They meet. Yeah, because he's got the tape.
Yeah.
He has the recording of their thing on the ferry, so they meet at that point, and he destroys the tape and sort of says, okay, well, it's over now. That kid's been put in the firing line, so you can just go home to LA now, and that's the end of it. And then Hilary Swank goes to see him, and he works out that Hilary Swank has worked out.
That's it. Yes, there's a whole side plot with Hilary Swank's character, who's like the fresh-faced cop, local cop, and she is doing her own investigation on the side, and she figures out that Al Pacino must have fired the gun.
Yeah. Because she finds the bullet.
She finds the real bullet, yes. So, and then through that, she manages to track down Finch and ends up going to see him.
And he knows she's cracked it, so he has to kill her to remove any evidence.
Yes, basically. So Robin Williams plans to kill Hilary Swank. Al Pacino figures it out. They all end up in the lake house. There's a shootout. Oh, also, Al Pacino has still not slept in like a week now, so he's fully like hallucinating. He's incredibly disoriented. He's not at his best. They get to the lake house. There's a big final confrontation. He manages to rescue Hilary Swank, and they end up shooting each other. Robin Williams and Al Pacino both fire at the same time, essentially. Robin Williams dies immediately, just falls into the lake and very dramatically and very slowly sinks.
Fades away.
Yeah.
Fades away. They really held that
I
shot.
watched this with my parents, and my dad said when Hilary Swank pulled up to the lake house, like, there's no way that the two main guys are not dead by the end of this scene.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way this film can end without them both being dead.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
And-
no, maybe Al Pacino.
Because
no, good
they're
point.
the same
Because
person.
they twist. But yeah. That was a good scene, though. Robin Williams jumping up and down behind some chest-high walls with a shotgun is a scene I never thought I'd see in my entire life.
Yeah.
Al Pacino does that all the time.
I never thought I'd see a scene with Robin Williams very creepily describing how he murders a young woman.
Yeah.
It's weird, right?
Well, it's good to...
What was that film he was in where he was like a chemist? No, he was a photo.
1 Hour Photo, yeah.
Yeah, wasn't he incredibly evil in that?
Yeah, he had a little run of playing villains for a while.
Yeah.
In the early noughties, yeah.
Yeah.
It works. Cast
Has he ever
against
been
type.
in a shotgun-based shootout before?
I don't know. He was never an action guy. So
Yeah,
this
exactly.
is probably his only like action-y.
Yeah, because I feel like creepy photo guy probably doesn't end up in a shotgun shootout.
Not as far as I remember. It's a long time since I've seen 1 Hour Photo, but I remember it being good. But yes, anyway, so yeah, Al Pacino gets shot, staggers outside. Hilary Swank finds him, and you know he's clearly going to die. But she tells him that she's going to throw away the evidence that he shot his partner.
Yeah.
She's like, no one needs to know. Your reputation will stay intact. And he was dying breath. He stops. He says, "Don't do it. Don't do what I did." Basically, this is a longer version of what he said. He said it in like 2 words. But it's
Don't
like,
lose your way.
Don't lose your way. That's it. Don't lose your way. Don't compromise your integrity the way I did, because this is where it leads to.
Yeah.
And that's where it ends. With
I got to say, I disagree with his point on that one, because he made one mistake once. That doesn't mean the other 50 murderers he put away weren't all murderers and shouldn't stay in prison.
Yeah.
So if she reveals that he was actually a wrong'un, then all of them will be let out. So he had a very good reason to save his own reputation, and it wasn't selfish.
Well,
so if
that's-
Hilary Swank does her job, then 50 murderers get let out of prison.
Well,
yeah,
that's right.
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
It's like,
just
so it's a good ambiguous ending, because we don't know what she does,
Yeah.
but she has to break the rules and she has to lose her way to do the overall good thing. So I like that ambiguity. Like, what will she do? Because now she's got the tough choice.
yeah.
Yeah. But also, that's that's a very good way of rationalizing bad behavior. People do that all the time. Like, I have to do this. We have to frack, or we have to do blah blah. Or people will lose their jobs. There's always a way of justifying doing
exactly.
something awful. So I think it's like she is very morally pure, or seems to be, and so he's saying, stick with that. Just do the right thing at all times, even if there's even if it's easier to do the wrong thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And that's the end of the film. I feel like that wasn't the best plot summary I've ever done, but it is kind of a twisty
It's a bit twisty.
Yeah.
twisty detective-y, yeah.
But yeah, and looking at the time, we're 15 minutes ahead of where we normally finish the plot
Right,
summary.
Oh, good.
This film, it's not got the most complex plot.
It's more moody than plot-driven, I think. That's why,
it's very simple. You basically know what's going to happen once it's sort of set the scene.
Yeah.
Okay, Hilary Swank's going to work it out. They're going to have a bit of cat and mouse thing. One or both of them will be dead by the end,
Yeah.
or the story will be resolved.
It's a nice.
You guessed that the film will be resolved by the end?
As in it'll be completely closed.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, it's a
Leave any
compact
ambiguity.
story. It
Yes,
doesn't.
some films, especially Nolan films, end quite open.
Yeah. well, like Ross said, there's a little bit of ambiguity in terms. Hilary Swank probably did the right thing, but maybe,
but
I know it's not the biggest. It's no spinny. Is he still in Dream or not? Inception ending. So
yeah.
I heard a solid argument that he's definitely not in the dream because Michael Caine never appears in a dream. And apparently Michael Caine said in an interview that Christopher Nolan told him that he's only ever in the film in the real world.
So that's.
However, Christopher Nolan's apparently said that's bollocks, and he never said that.
Yeah, because there is also the theory that that's the spinning top isn't actually his.
Oh, it's the wedding ring.
Yes, it's the wedding ring instead.
Okay.
Because sometimes he wears the ring, sometimes he doesn't, and it signifies when he's dreaming or not.
Okay. Well, that's a different, more interesting Christopher Nolan movie. Let's stick to the one we've got.
Stick to the ambiguity in the end of this one.
Yes. But yeah, any further thoughts before we go to drinking games?
No.
Okay.
It was alright, this film.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it as a self-contained story.
Yeah.
Like it was the end of the hero cop's life.
Yeah.
But it was from Hilary Swank's perspective, it was very much one of the things she did.
Yeah.
Like, she had a career before this and will have a career after this, and this is just an episode in her life.
Yeah.
And I like that kind of thing. Like, a film where the universe isn't at stake.
Yeah.
Like, it's not focused... It's probably a really important part of Al Pacino's life, because obviously he dies in it.
Yeah.
But for Hilary Swank, it's just one of the things that happens to her.
Yeah.
And I kind of like slice of life stories there, where it's not... It doesn't feel like this is the most exciting part of your life ever.
Yeah.
Or like the peak of your life. It's just an episode in your life.
This is probably the lowest stakes Christopher Nolan movie as well. In
Yeah,
terms of,
probably
all,
true,
all the other ones are like, well, maybe Memento is just one guy's story as well, but like, it seems like it.
Yeah.
He does leave a swathe of bodies in his
True,
wake.
yeah. There's only really 3 deaths in this one.
Yeah.
The teenage girl, the 2 guys, yeah.
And the partner.
And the part. Okay,
And the
so there are
partner.
4 deaths in this
4
one,
deaths.
which is no.
Less than Memento.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you say this is the weakest Christopher Nolan film?
Of what I've seen, yes. Only because it's the most average. Not that Christopher Nolan's films are all strong hitters, because they're not all perfect.
Yeah.
Like The Dark Knight Rises has loads of problems.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, this one just feels it's the least interesting.
Okay. It's the most. Yeah. It's the most run of the mill.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not having written it probably has an effect.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, this is probably kind of a I was saying the other day offline, but I think this is clearly he makes Memento. He gets a bit of credibility, and then he needs to prove himself further. So he takes the studio. And he does it. He turns it around. It gets good reviews. It makes lots of money. And then he gets his, he gets to do the Dark Knight.
He gets given Batman
and then he's got a
for
blank
bit.
check to make anything he wants. And then he does all the crazy shit.
Then
that
it's
Nolan does,
Inception and backwards bullets.
Exactly. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. This was an important stepping stone in his career.
And
Maybe not
confusing
very
time travel with Matthew McConaughey.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes. Oh, that film.
God, Christopher Nolan has such an interesting career.
He does. Yeah. Interesting filmmaker.
Somewhere in there, the Prestige fits in as well.
Yes.
Between Batman Begins and The Dark Knight.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know it came
Yeah,
in between.
I thought it was before Batman Begins, but nope.
That like little passion project in between his Batman work.
You say little passion project. It's got most of the Batman actors.
That's true, and also it's probably my actual favourite film. So little passion project is not the right word. But it was definitely a Christopher Nolan, like, this is the film I want to make.
Oh, sure.
After
yeah.
maybe 2 Batman films, maybe he didn't really want to make the third one. He wanted to make The Prestige.
We should really have had you on for when we did our Prestige episode, since you are actually someone who does magic.
That's true. Not very well.
No, but you're in that world,
That's true.
Performance art.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Cool. Shall we get to drinking games?
Yeah, let's.
Awesome.
So first I've got Drink for Gunshots.
Drink for gunshots. Okay, sure.
Because there's not loads. There's not like full-on gunfights until
Okay,
the
so
last
it's a
scene.
healthy drinking game because it'll give you
Yeah.
it'll keep you sipping, but it
Because
will
like also
knock you out.
the gunshots are accounted for. Like
Sure.
there's one guy gets shot in the leg, then he shoots his partner,
Mm.
then he shoots a dead dog. But like the plot centers around like, okay, where are all those 3 bullets now?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Till the final scene where it's just bang, 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 bang.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ross.
Drink whenever you remind yourself that the murderer is also the genie.
Yeah, I kept thinking that, like, oh no, Mrs. Doubtfire, don't do it.
Yeah, that works too.
That's why it's so good. It's against typecasting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Drink every time somebody seems to not care at all that the teenage girl is dead. It seems like she didn't have a true friend in the world. Like,
No.
all of it, like her boyfriend's an absolute dick.
Yeah.
Her best friend, quotation marks, was sleeping with her boyfriend and also seems to not care that she's dead. She was also very obnoxious, by the way.
It's bizarre that like these 2 people. It's not just they don't like her. They don't seem to realize like a person is dead.
Yeah.
A person was brutally murdered.
Yeah, they really don't care. Maybe that's the teenage thing. It's like, teenagers being self-involved. But yeah, I don't necessarily think Christopher Nolan writes teenage people I don't think he's done it much for a reason. So, But yeah, it just seems like nobody gives a shit that she's dead.
Yeah.
Everyone's like very abstract about it. Even like her mom's in one scene who's just like, oh yeah, her bedroom's up there. Like she just seemed very flat. Like,
Yeah. That was weird, wasn't
like
it?
she's been dead a very short amount of time at this point. She should be like devastated, but she's just
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, just second door on the left.
Yes, to my murdered daughter's bedroom.
Yes, you come in and out as and when
Would you like a
please.
cup of coffee?
Yeah,
And they should have made her more of a character.
yeah.
I think.
Instead of that hotel lady who was pointless but was in a lot of scenes.
Boring.
Yeah.
You might not like one of my sequel pitches.
Okay.
Was there a bit where that hotel lady just appears in his bed near the end?
I don't remember. He does tell her. I think.
Because like she comes into the room and And she's like, oh, it's so dark in here, and she turns the light on and it's like nightmarishly bright.
Yeah.
It turns out that it is basically night. He has blocked the window, but he's just going crazy and still thinks it's really bright.
Right, I see.
And then she comes in, they have a whole scene, and then it just kind of cuts, and I'm pretty sure that she's just in his bed.
Yeah, she's sleeping and he's still awake.
Yeah.
Oh.
So did they sleep together?
I don't think so.
Well,
Why did what
don't
kind
think
of
it
hotel
implied
manager
that.
just puts the head down in a guest's room?
yeah, like they really cut over that, I think.
Yeah, maybe there was a deleted scene where they did sleep together or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was just like, maybe I'll sleep better if you cuddle me, but I'll be the little spoon, please.
Fair enough.
Right,
Anyway.
it's your turn.
Drink for Sherlocking.
Sherlock. Oh yes, it's
Oh yeah.
yeah.
It's loads of that, just like, oh well, clearly this person cut her nails afterwards.
I loved how there was like Hilary Swank's such a super fan of Al Pacino, so she's like always like, yeah, oh wow, he's so good.
Yeah.
And then there's the guy with the overlarge moustache that was
Yeah.
really distracting, who just clearly is like, oh, god damn this know-it-all guy who's coming to our turf, who just
Yeah.
seems to hate him. Like,
Yeah.
I like that.
I've got similar to the gunshots one. Drink for anyone having a gun they probably or definitely shouldn't have.
Yes.
And for any reason, like they shouldn't have it because it's been planted on them, or they shouldn't have it because it's Robin Williams and it's a shotgun.
Yeah.
Or Al Pacino has a second gun, doesn't he? That was
yeah.
a big plot point that the bullet came out of his second gun.
Yeah.
You got to have a backup gun.
Well, exactly.
I really liked when it gets to near the end of the film and Hilary Swank she's got the bullet and she's worked out what kind of gun it's from, and then because they're all saying goodbye to Al Pacino because he's going back to LA, there's hugs going around and she reaches down to feel the shape of his gun just to identify if that's the right thing.
Yeah.
Smart lady.
His gun's just like tucked into the back of his jeans, the top back of his trousers. I didn't think she's reaching for his gun.
Well, she's reaching for some.
Yeah. Also, that's definitely a Walther 9mm. How can you possibly tell?
Yeah. Well, like maybe
She's done her homework, Ross. She's very dedicated.
maybe like there's 3 standard issue guns that that cops get given, and like she knew it was one of the 3, and she uses the same one.
She was
like,
just looking for proof that he had a second gun, not trying to determine what it was.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that leads into my next one, actually, which is drink when somebody appears to find Al Pacino unrealistically attractive.
Yeah.
Everyone really fancies him, and he's pretty haggard in this movie. Like,
Yeah.
He just, especially the weird scene when he interviews the best friend, the teenage girl, and he's driving with her, and she just like flashes him a little leg. It's like, is this because she's done nothing wrong? Yeah, I mean, obviously was sleeping with her best friend's boyfriend, but like she's not the killer.
No.
So what does she have to gain by flirting with a cop? What's she trying to get out of? Like,
I don't know.
That was a weird one.
So because like he's like Al Pacino's like 65 or something at the time he makes this film. I think he's like in his 70s now. Like she's like 15. To her, he's like old man. Like it was really weird to me that she'd find him attractive. And then
She obviously wanted something out of it.
yeah, but it was never clear what.
Yeah, just like, oh, buy me some nice stuff and some booze, maybe.
Oh, yeah, maybe this is. Oh, I guess because that's what. Well, I mean, it got her friend killed, so I don't know if that's very aspirational. But yeah,
That's a good point. Yeah.
they do make a whole thing of it being a very remote, boring town, and maybe all the teenage girls are just like, well, if a rich old man sleeps with me, then I can get out of here.
Yeah, I'd go to Vegas.
Maybe,
Vegas? Los Angeles, yeah.
He'll take me somewhere. Yeah, maybe, I guess. But yeah, all the women in this film seem to have crushes on Al Pacino, which was weird because he looked like
Al Pacino.
He looked like Al Pacino. I mean, no offense, Al Pacino, but yeah, especially because
but plenty of offense.
a very tired Al Pacino as well, like
Yeah.
deliberately so, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. Drink whenever Robin Williams knows a weird amount about Al Pacino.
He's done his homework.
It's not just he's done his homework. He seems to know, just like still trying to get to sleep. You put the alarm clock in the drawer. I can see
does
every
seem a
move
little-
you make.
he
I
does
was
seem a
thinking,
little
like,
psychic.
where is he watching from? Is he watching through the window? Like,
He's actually just in the
room?
chair in the corner on a mobile.
Like, how did he know so much? I mean, again, this all leads to my theory that like
They're
he's
the
not
same
real. They're the same person.
I like the idea that he writes a lot of novels about this kind of thing, so he's kind of got the predictions.
Yeah.
Like that kind of fits.
Yeah.
I've also got coffee. Every time there's coffee,
But it's a cop movie.
but you have to drink an espresso shot.
Oh, okay.
Because Al Pacino's obviously not sleeping. He's drinking shit tons of coffee, and he, but you drink an espresso shot, not alcohol.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, drink every. You've kind of stolen this already, but or done it already. You didn't steal it. You didn't know. Sorry, it was a bit passive aggressive. But drink every time Robin Williams asks Al Pacino if he's tired.
Yeah.
I felt like you really needled him on that. Like, are you tired yet? It's been 3 days. You must be really tired. Are you tired yet? You're tired. You can tell me. You're tired. Have a nap. You're tired. It was good. I
Take a
liked it,
shower in my house.
Yeah.
Feed the dogs.
Yeah, that was funny. Oh, you've broken into a house. Okay, have a shower. Yeah. It was fun.
Poor dogs didn't get fed.
They didn't. Whatever happened to those dogs? Who's going to look after them now? Everyone's dead.
Hilary Swank.
Hilary Swank will
Yeah,
look
yeah,
after
she'll
them. They'll become like police dogs.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And finally, drink for old men doing stunts.
Old men
Oh,
doing
yeah.
stunts.
Well, I have. I also have only one more, which is vaguely similar as well. Drink for near fatal car crashes caused by Al Pacino.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of driving tired. You know, shouldn't do it. Don't do it.
Also, there's that one he tries to cause on purpose.
Yes.
To scare a child.
The lorry, yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
What was it? 'Cause he was really close to
He
hitting
was
that lorry.
Yeah,
as
he
well.
was going really off the rails by that point in the
Yeah,
movie
yeah.
as well.
Well, I enjoyed watching him unravel though. Like that was.
Do you know what I find weird in films when that sort of thing happens? When somebody's driving towards an oncoming car and from miles away, this car starts flashing its lights and beeping and all that sort of stuff. If that happened to me, if I was that car,
The
that
other
was,
vehicle,
yeah.
yeah.
If I was the other vehicle, just driving along, minding my business, and a car just starts coming towards me really fast, I'm not going to carry on going.
Yeah, you stop.
Yeah, I'm going to slam on the brakes and like go into reverse if I need to, and like just
Yeah, you've got
get out of
ages
the
of
way.
time.
Yeah.
You're not a train.
Yeah, like this, like the lorry in this example, and in pretty much every other film this ever happens, it didn't do anything. It didn't.
No,
it
it's like
didn't slow down.
I have
it
no
didn't
control
stop.
over this situation, so it's up to you.
Yeah.
Funny. I've got a funny mental image now of you just like slamming on your brakes, just running out your car, like
Yeah.
just panicking.
Yeah.
That's it. Totally what you would do.
And like he swerved out the way of the lorry at the last minute.
What if the lorry swerves at the yeah?
Yeah.
same.
What if the lorry swerved? The lorry didn't swerve anywhere. The lorry just carried on going.
Yeah. Well, I guess the
Yeah.
lorry was always going to come out best in this crash, you know.
Yeah, but if you're the lorry driver, you're not going to think,
I'll just murder these
yeah,
people.
yeah,
I can survive this,
I can get through this.
Yeah. No, I know.
I'll turn this car to powder.
Yeah. Nah.
Don't know what to say.
Stupid. Films are stupid.
Okay.
Films are all stupid.
This film's failed Harry's
Yeah.
logic test, so yeah. It's
I
thumbs
mean, like,
down.
normally when Christopher Nolan does something like that, it involves like an actual truck flip or something.
Yeah. This is only a mid-budget. He didn't have the budget for that.
No.
He's not blown up any real life planes in this movie. That's not going to happen.
I want to watch Batman Begins again.
Yeah, me too.
Well, do that on your own time, guys.
Will
Yeah.
do. Will do.
Okay, so my last one is drink every time Al Pacinos. Which
Oh,
it doesn't
yes,
happen. It doesn't happen
yes.
a lot. He is very subtle in this. He's mostly, but he still gets a few like screamy lines. Like he still gets a few. I can't quote any now, but yeah, he does.
It's not just that. Like I was watching it with Louise, and she commented on it as well. Just like he's always in this, he's just a bit too sort of energetic and not energetic, but a bit too intense about the whole thing. And I was like,
Oh, yeah.
that's very
That-
Al Pacino. He's always at like 11 to 15,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
no matter what he's doing, even if he's trying to do like subtle and tired.
There's a reason Scarface is his most famous film because he's insane in it. So it gives him full.
He's insane and coked up and shooting people.
Yeah, which is basically Al Pacino's cruise control.
Yeah.
Insane, coked up and shooting people and screaming at the top of his lungs.
Yeah.
It's weird that like for this film being as average as we've been calling it, like Al Pacino is very average for Al Pacino. But that's like Al Pacino at like a 12 in this. And this film, I've been saying it's very average. I'm quite disappointed by it, but it's still really good.
It's a
Yeah.
good,
It's just that I was expecting a bit more.
Yeah. No, I enjoyed seeing a more dialed down Al Pacino and a more dialed down Robin Williams. Like, I liked that they were more subtle than they usually are. So
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I enjoyed this anyway. Cool. Is that all the drinking games?
Yeah. So before we get to sequels, we always talk about our Patreon for a little bit. That's what we do next.
Fair enough.
Because we have a Patreon. If you listeners didn't know, you can go to beyondtheboxset.com/Patreon and you can support us for as much or as little as you like. Only if you've enjoyed listening, of course. If you've not enjoyed listening, then
Well, why are you still here?
yeah, just give us a 5-star review and go.
Give us a fake review and get out. We don't want you.
But yeah, if you go to Patreon, we run a pay-as-you-feel system. Patreon does require you to do tiers, so you can pay whatever you want, but you get all the same features no matter what. So from as little as $2 a month, you can get the bonus episodes where we review films that are in a cinema, or not, as it has been this past few months. But we've got a Tenet review up there. We've got Unhinged. We've got New Mutants as well. That will probably be up by this point, I think. I'm not sure. All that and many, many more. We've got like 150 episodes up there or something.
Yeah.
There's plenty to go at. We also do extended versions of the main show. So if you want just a little bit more for your buck, what do you get for that?
Usually, yeah, extra sequel pictures, extra listener submissions, extra drinking games, just more of everything, really.
More of everything.
Yeah.
Great. There's also our exclusive Facebook group. And also once a month we do a Patreon episode on the main show as well, where we get a Patreon on, they choose the film. You can guest if you want to, but you don't have to. And other than the 30-second advert slot that everybody gets, that's all.
Cool. Yes.
So that's patreon.com/beyondtheboxset.
Indeed.
Let's see, Alex. What do you think of Jaws, which is at 97% Rotten Tomatoes?
I find it to be anti-shark propaganda. What do you feel about the Entourage movie, which is at a meager 33%?
I think they finally got Hollywood right. How about It Follows, 97%?
Worse than your parents giving you the sex is evil talk. How do you feel about Juno, which is at 94%?
That would be a movie that celebrates a teenage homewrecker. How about Bewitched at 25%?
Best television adaptation ever put to film. How do you feel about American Hustle at a towering 93%?
Overwrought awards bait. Righteous Kill, 19%.
The movie that Michael Mann wishes he had made when he created Heat.
Sounds about right. I'm Julio.
I'm Alex, and we are the Contrarians.
As you can tell, our thing is that we rage against the Rotten Tomatoes machine.
Regardless of what we really feel.
Find us on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Stitcher, TuneIn.
Facebook, Twitter, we're everywhere.
Okay, who wants to go first?
So I only have one because well, I basically I was putting up a few like ideas, and then I realised that my two strongest ideas would work really well if I put them together.
Okay.
So shall I
Yeah.
start with those? Okay, cool. So the first idea I had was that obviously the only character who's left alive who's of any interest is Hilary Swank, because Robbie Williams is dead, and also Robbie Williams is sadly dead.
Yeah.
So we're not bringing him back, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And Al Pacino's character is presumably dead. You could probably write around a version where he doesn't, but let's say he is. So that leaves us with Hilary Swank. So I was thinking she's now the head cop of this city. You know, it's 20 years later to account for the passage of time.
Yeah.
And she's risen to be like the police chief of this town. But in the interim, because of climate change and global warming and pollution, the town's weather patterns have changed. And now, instead of it being a town where the sun never sets, now it's a town where the sun never rises.
Right, okay.
So it's a town that lives in permanent darkness.
Yeah.
And now it's just to solve a new murder, but in a town where it's always nighttime. And how freaky that would be.
I can save you a little bit of effort there. You just have to wait till winter.
Oh, really? How so?
Because that's how that works.
Oh, okay. What do you mean when
Well, in winter, it will never be light.
Okay.
Approximately well, if you go a little bit further north, you pretty much get it where it hits winter and it's 24 hours of darkness.
Oh, right.
And then you hit summer again, it's 24 hours of light.
Oh, so they get both extremes?
Yes.
Okay, so maybe it's not global warming, maybe it's just...
They also mention that in the film.
Oh, did they? Oh, okay.
Yeah, they say you should have come up in winter when the sun never rises.
Okay, well, it doesn't matter what the cause is. I just like the idea
Yeah.
of it being like the reverse of this. What would it mean psychologically?
Yeah,
if
so
it's always nighttime?
she could have a crisis that she has to solve in the middle of winter.
Yes.
And it's dark all the time.
So yeah, essentially that was it. But the second idea I had that I thought could actually be tied into this was that what if Al Pacino is a ghost?
As in he was a ghost the whole way?
No. So, because all he wanted to do was go to sleep.
Yeah.
Like his last line of the film is like, "Let me sleep," because the whole film he's trying to get some sleep, and you think, "Oh well, he's died. Oh, at least he's at rest. You know, he can rest now." But what if he immediately wakes up again, and now he's a ghost, and ghosts can't go to
And
sleep?
he's been asleep for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, he still can't get that sleep.
Oh, that would be torture.
What would his first line be when he like wakes up as a ghost?
Probably, what the fuck? Or something. So a very Al Pacino outburst of, what the fuck?
No. You try to die and they pull you back insomnia.
Yeah, something like that.
I knew I had to work that in somewhere and I found it.
Well done.
Found
well
it.
done. But yeah, I thought it'd be really funny, like if he was in a state of constant tiredness and just increasing tiredness as a ghost and just wandering through the town, and he can't speak or interact with anyone, but he also can't get any goddamn sleep.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And maybe he can only. This is about all I've got, so I might need some help in fleshing this out. But maybe the only way he can finally get rest is to help Hilary Swank to solve another murder.
Okay.
Maybe he just needs to like right the balance. Maybe his last act of telling her to do the right thing wasn't quite enough. He still needs to even the balance.
Yeah,
a bit
the unfinished business rule.
Yeah, exactly. He's got unfinished business, and it's to help clear his cop conscience with all the bad things he did by helping Hilary Swank. So I'm thinking there's another murder in the town.
I think the murder. Have you got anything? Or
Well, all I've got is that I want the murderer to once again be played by an actor who is not known for being in dark roles. So I was thinking
The Rock.
Well, The Rock could work. although
Dan
he's-
Castellaneta.
Yeah. I was thinking Jack Black. Just again like someone
Yeah.
like
Oh, that'd be
someone
good.
Robin Williams-esque who but doesn't play. Yeah, so someone who's
Yeah,
comedic and likable and doesn't really play
You
villains.
could definitely bring a very good energy to it.
I think at some point Jack Black should do this. He should play a villain.
Yeah.
I think it would be a very good
Okay.
typecasting.
I would like Jack Black to be playing a medium.
Oh, okay.
Because then he can communicate with ghosts.
Oh, I like it.
So initially, like Al Pacino ghost is thinking like, okay, well, I guess let's help Hilary Swank, and this is gonna make crime fighting really easy because I can just go anywhere, be anywhere, and see things without people seeing me. They won't know I'm there, so I can just find all the clues and stuff and just point her in the right direction.
Yeah.
But yeah, then this murder happens, and it's a medium, and suddenly this guy can. Kind of see Al Pacino sometimes,
Or you can
communicate
block
with
him
or-
or something. He can,
Yeah, or like-
he can
or like
keep
he-
him
or like-
away from places.
or he can taunt him
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Ooh,
otherwise Al Pacino's got no one to talk to. It'd be
Yeah.
quite a boring movie.
Could,
so,
Yeah.
could Hilary Swank also not be able to see him, so he has to communicate through more complicated ways, like pushing paperwork to her to like reveal
Yes.
a
Yeah.
clue?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
It's more poltergeisty. Like he can't just say, "I have found this information." He has to point her subtly by
Yeah.
influencing the world in small ways.
Maybe.
Is she aware of him, by the way?
Oh,
Well, that's-
she can't sleep because he's haunting her all the time, trying to get information to her, so
Sure.
she can't sleep.
Yeah. Well, yeah. He like Ross said, maybe the ghost of Al Pacino is just doing supernatural things to try and guide Hilary Swank in the right direction. But maybe at a certain point, she starts to suspect that there might be something supernatural going on. So she calls in a medium to
Okay.
try and figure it out.
Right.
And then we bring in Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah.
Hillary, you in danger, girl.
Could it be Demi Moore instead?
Instead of Hilary Swank? Oh,
No, instead of Whoopi Goldberg.
why would you not? Why would you bring
But
Demi Moore back and not?
Isn't she the one from Ghost with Patrick Swayze?
They're both in Ghost.
Oh, are they? Oh, she is the medium
Whoopi
in
Goldberg
Ghost,
is the
isn't she?
medium.
That's right.
Demi Moore's
Never
just the love
mind.
interest.
I'd mixed up my actors.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
I think this is the first time anyone's mixed up Demi Moore and Whoopi Goldberg.
I'd forgotten that was the film you were referencing. I'd
Yeah.
forgotten that she was the medium. Definitely Whoopi Goldberg in this film. Then
Yeah.
that
Oh,
would
I
be great.
can't wait to do that film.
Yeah, I know it's been such a long time coming, but I know it is coming. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Soon.
Very soon. Yeah, but yeah, ultimately, I think we've got a story now. Then we have Hilary Swank, Whoopi Goldberg, the ghost of Al Pacino, all team up together to unmask evil medium Jack Black. That's a movie I'd watch.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we got something there.
Yeah, sure. That is Insomnia 2. I'll sleep when I'm dead.
Nice.
All right, Ross, what have you got?
I've got two reasonably small ideas. So the first one is basically just a joke. Twinsomnia.
Twinsomnia.
It's a remake starring Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Ah, okay.
In which they, one of them is the murderer and one of them is Al Pacino.
Okay, cool.
And I
neither
haven't
of them get
decided
to
which way round, so maybe you can help me with that.
Well, you could do I think it'd be kind of obvious to make Danny DeVito.
Twinsomnia.
Yeah, that's
Thanks.
very good. I think making Danny DeVito the murderer is kind of obvious. I mean, make him Arnold Schwarzenegger again. Make him the villain. I know he's played villains before, but
Yeah.
make him like
I'd say it's
a
again.
clever villain.
I'd say it's against type right now.
Yeah,
He's not played a villain for what, 30 years?
that's what I mean. Apart from the first Terminator movie, he's basically always the hero. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that would work. And Danny DeVito is the guy who can't get any sleep and he's trying to chase
Oh,
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Danny DeVito is so cranky anyway. He'd be so good as
Exactly.
someone who can't get any sleep.
Can I offer you a delicious nap in this trying time?
Yeah.
Yeah, that could work. And
Okay.
maybe it turns out they are in fact twins or the same person. You could do that.
Are they making a sequel to Twins?
I mean, I don't think so.
No, I've got a feeling they are. And
Wow, really?
yeah, but there's a triplet. No, there's a third one, and it's like Chris Rock or something.
What?
Yeah, no.
He's like 30 years younger than Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger, isn't he?
Also, he's black.
Also, yes, sure, but there's a lot of problems with this.
I think it's intentional. It's,
Okay, well, maybe. That's the first I've heard, but sure. It doesn't seem like a movie that's crying out for a, 30 years later sequel, to be honest.
No, not massively.
Like, remake, sure, but sequel? Maybe.
I'm looking this up while you guys carry on talking.
Fair enough.
Okay.
So that's basically the plot of Twinsomnia.
Okay.
I think if we could work in Harry's idea that they turn out to actually be the same person, that would be quite fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe he goes he loses his. Maybe he is sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, actually, that's the reason he thinks he's sleeping, but he's actually going out doing murders.
Okay.
And that's why he's tired all the time.
He's
because
murdering in his sleep.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
So he's tired all the time, even though he thinks he's been sleeping, because he hasn't been sleeping. He's been out murdering.
Right, okay.
And he
but
kind
doesn't
of
know it.
Yeah, and when
So the killer he's hunting is himself.
Yes, exactly.
Oh.
And when he sees the killer and
Brilliant.
feels like he's chasing him, he sees Arnold Schwarzenegger running away over logs, and he has to chase him, but he can't because he's only got short legs and he's chasing Arnold Schwarzenegger. But it turns out he's chasing nobody.
Danny DeVito doing a log parkour.
Yeah,
That would be
and
so
then
funny.
we get the vision of right at the end. We get a montage of all the scenes we've already seen of the two of them together from a third person perspective.
Yeah.
And it's just Danny DeVito there by himself talking to nobody.
I like this, yeah.
That could work, I think.
That could work very well, yeah.
And I also have a third and fourth movie in this series.
Okay.
Insomnia and Insomnifor.
Very good, Ross.
And that's it. That's all I had.
We can always rely on you for some good wordplay.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I also wondered if we could possibly have a prequel in which we find out what the bed and breakfast hotel owner was up to.
Yeah, sure.
Because she said there's only two types of people in Alaska: people who were born there and people who ran away from something. And she wasn't born there.
Yeah.
Like, that's so much
She's
information.
got a backstory.
Yeah.
Exactly. I want to know what she was up to, and was it the plot of the film Liar Liar?
That's because that's the only thing you've
That's
seen.
the only. Yeah. Like, did she have to run away from having been in a weird love triangle with Carrie Elwes and Jim Carrey?
Yeah.
In which case, we don't have to make this film because it already exists.
Maybe they're both trying to find. Maybe they're both very possessive and are trying to find her again.
Well, they were very possessive in that film.
Yeah.
And she probably would have been better off with neither of them.
Yes, I agree. So maybe she's like, run away and changed her identity, and she's hiding from Jim Carrey, the crazy lawyer.
Yeah. The crazy lawyer who can't lie.
Another comedian who could then be playing a villain.
That's
There you
true.
go, yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, like it a lot.
Yeah.
In the twin sequel, it's not Chris Rock, it's Eddie Murphy.
Okay, closer in age. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, I still question the need for that movie to exist, but I'm open to it.
Well, I've not seen the original, so
I mean,
can't
they've just done a
comment.
Bill and Ted free, which again, I don't think anyone's really. went to.
No one was asking for that.
It's just weird. Like, they're just so old. Like, it's just because they're such like teenage characters. Like they're so like it's just weird
Bill
that
and
they're
Ted.
so old. Yeah, Bill and Ted.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're so adolescent. It's just weird. Like obviously, I've seen Keanu Reeves get older over the years, and the other guy's not really been in anything else. But it's just that in this particular role, it's like, but you're so old. Why are you still talking like that? Like,
Yeah.
It's weird. It's very weird.
Anyway, moving on. Harry.
Okay, so the first one I've got here is called Narcolepsy.
Narcolepsy. Okay.
This could be good.
So we pick up directly after Al Pacino's death.
Okay.
He didn't actually die.
Oh, okay.
He wakes up. and
In hospital?
No, he just wakes up like, I don't know, there outside Robin Williams' cabin.
Right.
And it turns out that he's been asleep the whole time, sleepwalking.
Oh, so
And this has all been kind of like a lucid dream sort of thing.
okay. From when? Did he really kill his partner?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. That's all I've got there. What can we do with this?
Okay, so it depends at what point you fell asleep.
It
Really.
does,
Like,
doesn't
how
it?
much of the movie has happened? Like, so has he killed Robin Williams in his sleep, or was that all just a dream?
I'd say that he's... Yeah, I was kind of thinking that maybe like he's just been doing all of this while being asleep and he's not really being aware of any of it.
Sure.
And then maybe it could be a kind of a funner film to see from an outsider's perspective.
Yeah.
Maybe that explains why he kept having car crashes. He was falling asleep at the wheel
Yeah.
because of narcolepsy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't know that he was narcoleptic.
Yeah.
And the reveal of this film is, but don't you understand that you're clearly narcoleptic? You've been falling asleep left, right, and centre. We thought you knew. We thought you'd noticed that you were narcoleptic at this point, but
Yeah, that could work.
yeah.
Although, alternatively, what if it's a sequel where it doesn't re-explain the events of the movie. It just his insomnia is finished, and now he's got narcolepsy and has to help with the next crime, but keeps falling asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
So he can't drive anywhere because he keeps falling asleep.
Maybe the trauma of like a near-death experience and being shot or that kind of thing did something in his brain that then gave him narcolepsy. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that could totally work.
Yeah, so he's in meetings and keeps falling asleep. And maybe what if it's a bit Memento sort of unreliable narrator-ish? It's all from his perspective, so it's all really chopped up.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, I see.
Like,
That'd be interesting. Yeah.
that'd be very Nolan, wouldn't it?
He's doing another murder investigation, like unrelated to the first one. Maybe he's back in LA or something. But yeah, as he's chasing down and doing all the interviews, we're constantly getting cut off in the middle of a scene because he'll just like mid-sentence he'll fall asleep.
Yeah.
So as a viewer, we see what he sees.
Yeah.
And so we have to kind of try and piece together what's happening as is he with constant interruptions.
Yeah.
And the film is all. I mean, this lines up with Memento quite nicely, actually.
Yeah.
Like that one would actually probably be quite good for the film to be told in reverse order.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's cracked it. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Al Pacino in narcolepsy
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it.
as the protagonist, obviously.
Yeah.
Cool. Was that all you've got?
I've got another one.
Oh, sure, yeah. No, I'll talk about
Will we going round, or are we just doing one each?
I was done.
Well, yeah, we're both done. So.
Okay, cool. The other one I've got is not really sure where to go with this, but so it's Hilary Swank is going to be repeating his mistakes.
Okay.
She didn't hand the bullet in like she said she would. You know, she's trying to keep that in just to keep all his good work still in prison.
And that set her on a spiral of like making bad decisions, and now she's a full crooked cop.
Yeah, that's the sort of thing I was thinking.
Okay, great.
Yeah, she just kind of learned like, oh, okay, well, I got away with like not handing a bullet in, so I can do anything.
What else can I get away with?
Yeah. So Hilary Swank is a bent cop, really.
And maybe because she says at the beginning of the film that she finds like regular police work incredibly boring because it's a small town, nothing ever happens. So like she seems thrilled that this girl's been murdered. It's like the most exciting thing that's ever happened to her.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But so yeah, maybe the boredom of that town is making her fabricate crimes, you know, and pin them on other people just to give herself something to do. Just because she's getting the thrill of being a cop and arresting people and chasing down perps, but she's actually making it all happen because she's just completely lost her moral compass. Yeah. And maybe a new, young, fresh-faced cop comes in, joins the service, maybe like an intern or like a new recruit or something, played by like a young, you know, younger actress, and who like reminds her of the old her, and like maybe comes close to figuring out the way Hilary Swank figures out what Al Pacino's been doing. Maybe this young girl figures out what Hilary Swank's up to, and it's kind of so she has to decide whether she's gonna take the right path and, you know, confess everything and give this girl a chance, or is she gonna kill her?
Yeah.
Or you could go a little bit down the Dexter route as well. Like Hilary Swank finds out about people who are wrong-uns but can't be attacked by the law because of some reason or other. So she is planting evidence on those people.
Yeah.
Like she's taking down bad people still.
Yeah, she's justifying it in her own mind.
Yeah. She's still trying to take down who she considers bad people, but
Well,
maybe
she's doing very
maybe the
crooked
first
methods, yeah.
couple are genuinely bad people, and then it starts working its way. Like, oh well, there was a murderer, and I made sure he went to prison. Okay, the next one is a guy who ran like 2 traffic lights, and she gets him put in prison for also murder. And then the young cop coming up is like tries to work this out. Follows the pattern.
But she's doing that, but she doesn't actually have a body, so she needs to go and murder somebody just to put this guy who ran the traffic lights in prison. Just like, he murdered that guy, but actually she murdered that guy.
Yeah, it could be like a dark comedy where it's just getting ever more convoluted and she's going doing ever more dark and twisted things just to create
Just
crimes.
to put people behind bars who she considers wrong.
It'd be a very like of the moment movie, you know. We're looking at, like about like cops right now and how they, you know, a lot of them are, you know, doing a lot of bad things. So it'd be interesting.
Yeah, and then who would play the young
who's like
cop?
who's like a fresh-faced young, you know, scrappy
Will Smith. I'm just trying to. I'm just people who've played the genie is all I'm trying to. Jaden Smith. Too young, isn't he? He's not.
I don't know.
Don't know actually, but
I was thinking it could be another woman because
Daisy Ridley.
Daisy Ridley could work, or
yeah, that works.
Not that she's that much younger than Hilary Swank, but I was thinking like over enthusiastic, and because we've seen her recently, like Anna Kendrick, you know.
Oh yeah.
That could work.
Yeah, I know you're a bit over it at the moment.
Yeah.
But, like, she could be that like she could be like annoyingly positive. That could be the thing that annoys Hilary Swank. She's like, was I ever this annoying when I was, had a conscience? Like,
The answer is yes, you were.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good. I like
Yeah,
that.
that works.
What would you call that?
I don't know.
Too Insomnia, Too Furious.
Well, I've not got listener submissions today, so let's go to Insomnia, Too Furious.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, sure. Why
Looking
not?
at me, yeah.
Insomnia 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
Nailed it. Yeah.
Going to sleep.
Oh, yeah. There it is. There it is. That's
Can't get to sleep.
Yeah.
That works.
Sleep.
Insomnia, can't get to sleep.
There we go.
Cool. So listener submissions then. What you got?
Yes, so you don't have any this week, do you? So I just have a handful. We had Jason Ritterstein said, it already exists. Insomnia is no sleep. Inception is all of the sleep. So,
Of course, yes.
Yeah?
there's connections, people.
Yeah.
There's a cinematic universe happening here.
Yeah.
Also, on a similar note, Rob Farnham said, Robin Williams already starred in the prequel, Awakenings. It's another Robin Williams film.
Okay, sure.
Awakenings.
Sure.
Would have worked better if you knew that film. David Hanlos said, Insomnia 2, Counting Sheep. Pacino's character manages to survive, takes a vacation to New Zealand, and is pulled in to investigate similar crimes among sheep farmers. Now, I like if you did that, but then also brought in Black Sheep, that film we saw recently.
Yeah. Oh, you'd have some good narcolepsy things there as well, because the whole crime is about how many sheep there are.
Yes,
and
every
how
time-
many sheep have been
every time
stolen.
he counts them, he falls asleep.
Like, yeah. There's supposed to be 27 sheep in this field. Well, let's see how many have been stolen. 1, 2. Yeah.
Yes, love it.
So it's the narcolepsy film again, except...
Yeah, and so every time Al Pacino is counting the sheep, he's getting more and more irate. So by the end, he's full Al Pacino, like,
Yeah.
1, 2, 3!
Yeah, he's got to work out different ways of
Yeah.
organising the sheep so he can count them without falling asleep each time.
Oh, I want to see that movie. Isaiah Hand said, Insomnia versus Freddy. Pacino's after the killer from Nightmare on Elm Street, and he still can't sleep, but this time it's an advantage.
Ooh, that's
Freddy
good.
can't get to him, yeah. Friend of the show and patron, Finn Ross Russell, has a couple of ideas. One is Deep Sleep. It's 2 hours of Al Pacino lying in his grave, finally getting the overdue sleep he needed from the events of the first film. It's lovely. And his second idea was Outsomnia, the same original film, but told backwards.
Yeah.
Very good. Thank you for that, Finn. So thank you, everybody, for those sequel ideas. We ask for your listener submissions every week, a few days before we record, by putting posts out on Facebook and Twitter, where you can post your ideas. So make sure you like and follow our pages if you don't want to miss out. To listen to more episodes of Beyond the Box Set, you can subscribe and browse our back catalogue on any podcasting platform, including iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, and many others, all of which you can also leave a 5-star review if you like. It really does help us out, so please do consider it. As mentioned before, we're also available on Patreon, which is exclusively for the people who would rate us more than 5 stars if they could. You can find all those links in the description below or at beyondtheboxset.com. And next week, Harry, it's you, I believe.
Oh, shit, it is.
Have you not thought of anything?
No.
Oh. Come prepared.
Any ideas, Ross?
Is it still Christopher Nolan?
No, we're not on a season right now.
Oh, I see. You got a theme in mind? Of any kind? Or like a connection?
It's free choice. Yeah. Just do something that's been on your back burner for a while or something.
I think you should do the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
You've done
No.
it, yeah.
Oh, you have?
Oh, yeah.
It's early.
I completely missed that. I must have missed that one. Ooh, yeah. How many Pixar films have you ever done?
Oh, well, they're kind of our New Year thing anyway.
Yeah, we do the first episode of every year as a Pixar film.
Ah, right.
Because there is a limit on those.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's do Midsummer.
Oh, interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
from one sleepless movie to another.
Yeah, I feel in the mood for it.
Okay, sure.
Why not?
Great, Midsommar. I'm down for it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yes. And listeners, if you want to get a little advanced preview, then you can go to patreon.com/beyondtheboxset and you can listen to our
Our
Midsummer
initial
review.
reaction to Midsommar. Yeah.
Yeah, which would be about, I don't know, a year ago, isn't it?
About a year. Yeah. Have you seen Midsommar?
I have not, no, but you guys were telling me about it yesterday, and apparently I should watch it.
Yeah, that and Hereditary. You should definitely watch
Yes.
them both. Yes.
Yeah.
I'll have to do it in preparation for listening next week.
Excellent.
Well,
thank you very much, Ross.
Yeah, thanks for guesting.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Always a pleasure, never a chore.
Anything you want to flog?
No.
Okay.
Coronavirus has resulted in me not having a job, so I can't flog anything.
Does anybody have a job going? 'Cause-
Jobs for us. Yeah.
Would anyone like a juggler? In a socially distanced juggling workshop or would I, or do you need me to use the internet to teach you physics? Because those are my two jobs, and they basically don't work right now.
Tutoring?
Yeah, tutoring. I have not a lot of that on because there's no schools open and no one's taking exams.
Talk positive. Sell yourself.
Ah, right. I'm brilliant. Seriously, I could do with. I teach circus skills and I teach physics. At the moment, I do physics online. So if you need help with your GCSEs or A levels, get in touch and I can help you out with some online chats and working through question papers and that kind of thing, if that is your jam.
Yeah, he's very good.
Thank you.
Cool. Great. Well, thank you very much, Ross. Thank you, Harry. And we will see you next week for Midsommar.
Yeah, see you next week, guys.
Bye.
Awesome.
Bye.
Thanks for having me.
Can't sleep well?